Hi there, welcome to Remoto, the next generation of creative collaboration. This video covers the essentials for hosting sessions in Remoto Playback. We'll walk you through everything you need to know, including how to use the application, schedule and configure sessions, and launch sessions. We'll also explore the collaboration tools available to you and your guests. Let's get started. To host a playback session, you'll need a Mac computer with Playback installed, a Remoto account, and a purchased session, subscription, or free test drive. The Playback app runs on Mac computers. It's free and available for download on our website. You'll also be routed to this page when you make a purchase. Next is setting up your Remoto account, which is required for all hosts. The setup form is self-explanatory, but note that you'll need to retrieve a one-time verification code from your email to complete the sign-up. As with downloading the app, you'll be directed to create an account the first time you buy a product. Finally, go to the Remoto website and choose the product that best suits your needs. Playback is available on a per-session basis and via monthly subscription. We also offer a free test drive that bundles 3 short sessions. Once you complete your payment, you'll be ready to configure your first session. Whether you've just purchased a product or returned to Playback and signed in, you'll arrive at Playback's dashboard. The dashboard is your command center. It displays all the sessions you're a part of as an organizer or guest. Your dashboard won't be this busy the first time you log in, but we'll use this example throughout the video to show you the variety of sessions you might see. The left side of the dashboard displays details like the session name, organizer, schedule, and number of guests. The right side is where you schedule and configure your sessions, and at the far right, the button you click to start and join sessions. Note the different colors of the buttons and text. They reinforce the session's readiness or status for your convenience. Sessions are added to the dashboard in a couple of different ways. When you purchase a one-time session, including our free test drive, they appear right away. When you have a subscription, sessions appear once the new session button is clicked. And when you accept an invitation from another organizer, Playback adds that session for you. Note that the edit buttons aren't visible for guests. The column headers in the dashboard are self-explanatory, but you may be wondering about this envelope icon in the guests column. As the organizer, you decide when the guest should be notified about the schedule. That notification is off by default, which is why we see this crossed out envelope. In the next section, we'll review how to control that setting, along with all of Playback's scheduling options. Scheduling is one of 2 steps required to prepare a Playback session. The second is configuring the media you'll stream to guests, and we'll cover that in the next section of this video. To access the Edit Schedule screen, click on the Schedule button here, or if you have a subscription, it pops up when you click on New Session. There are 3 components to the scheduling process: the session name, the date and time, and the guest list. The first is self-explanatory. You need to modify the default name. Without that, no other details can be entered. Next, enter the scheduled date, time, and duration. Note that these settings are used for calendaring purposes only. They don't control when the actual session begins. As the organizer, you determine when you're ready to begin, and that does not have to match the scheduled time. The Reminder drop-down menu is self-explanatory, but it goes back to the topic of guest notification we mentioned earlier. Playback allows you to set a tentative session date and time, but hold off on emailing guests until your schedule is confirmed. Once you check the notification box and save that setting, guests will receive an email whenever the schedule is modified. Note that guest notification is permanent. Once the box is checked and saved, notifications can't be turned off. The last step is to invite your guests. Type or paste their email addresses one at a time, then press enter or click the plus button. You don't have to add guests to schedule a session. You can come back at any time to add them or make other edits. As you add guests, you can see the number of remaining spots here. Each guest is added to the roster of attendees, along with an icon denoting their RSVP status. As the organizer, you can see a tally of guest responses. If you want to remove or replace a guest, check the X to the right of their name. When you're ready to save the session, you'll see a message confirming your email notification choice. After clicking OK, your scheduled session is confirmed. Note that now the guest column on the dashboard shows the number of guests invited, and no longer displays the icon for disabled email notifications. To the right, the Schedule button is now green with a check mark. If you ever need to adjust the schedule or guest list, you can click on the session name and then the pencil icon to go back into edit mode, or navigate there directly from the dashboard by clicking on the Schedule button. By the way, you can also add guests to a playback session even after it's started. We'll review how to do that a little later in this video. The second and last step in session setup is configuring your stream settings, which tells Playback how to find and present your media to participants. Before starting, it's essential that you open the application that will run your source material. This enables Playback to see your media during the setup and helps ensure a proper configuration. In this example, we're using Pro Tools. Let's take a look at the Stream Settings screen. On the left are 4 numbered headings: Streaming, Video, Audio, and time-coded markers, with optional watermark controls below that. As you can see, each of these headings correlates to a set of data entry fields. On the right are session preset controls and a summary of all settings. As we move through the numbered settings, keep in mind that all of your settings can be saved and recalled in a few short clicks. We begin with the Viewer Type field, which refers to the method your guests will use to join your session. Choose between Desktop Only, where all guests use Playback's desktop app, and Desktop and Web, where guests can also join via a web browser from any computer or mobile device. While Desktop and Web offers more flexibility, guests in these sessions don't have access to Playback's advanced collaboration features, which we'll cover later in this video. If your guests have Mac computers, we recommend choosing Desktop Only. And for the smoothest onboarding experience, tell first-timers to download the Playback app in advance. The next 2 fields determine the size and frame rate of the video your guests receive. Although there are scenarios that call for downscaling your source media, most of the time you'll enter the same resolution and frame rate of that source material and leave the video input box checked. For more details on these options, as well as the advanced settings, check out the user guide available on our Help Center. As we move on to the next setting, note that there's now a green checkmark next to the one we just completed. Next is Video, where you tell Playback where to find your source material. Playback can stream media coming from any of 4 locations: a screen capture of a display or a portion of your screen, an SDI source, an application running on your Mac, or NDI, which is Video over LAN. After specifying this location under Input Type, you then select the exact source in the field just below. In our example here, we've chosen Application, and because we have Pro Tools open in the background, we see the Avid Video Engine as an option. Next, we'll enter the video's frame rate, which should match the source material. And then move on to Step 3. Audio settings are similar to video. You first designate the type and then choose the specific source. You then define the number of channels you want to stream. For our Pro Tools example, we choose Virtual Audio Device as the type, and because we want to stream in 5.1, we select Pro Tools Audio Bridge 16 as the source and 5.1 as the format. The last required setting is time-coded markers, an advanced collaboration feature available to you as the host and also to all guests in desktop-only sessions. This setting activates Playback's MIDI receiver so it chases timecode from your host program. Not all hosts can do that, but if yours can, Playback can log participant notes and export them onto your project timeline. In the next section of this video, we'll show you what that looks like from the participant's perspective. Now that all 4 steps are complete, you can save your stream settings and return to the dashboard. Before you do that, you may want to take a moment to adjust Playback's watermark settings if desired, or save the session as a preset if you anticipate hosting similar sessions in the future. With scheduling and stream settings now configured, your session is ready and the Start button is enabled. Next, we'll review what happens when you start your session. If you have questions about stream settings or want to take a deeper dive on the topic, check out the resources available in our Help Center at remotopro.io. Now that our session is ready, let's review what happens after you click the Start button. As with most video conferencing tools, your first step is to review your camera, microphone, and speaker settings. Because Playback supports multi-channel audio for your stream, we offer you the option to route this audio to a different set of speakers from the conference call. For example, your stream can play on a 5.1 sound system while the group conversation plays on earbuds. In a moment, we'll review how participants can adjust the individual volume of each. Once those settings are confirmed, click on Start Session. After a short pause, you'll find yourself in the Playback Studio. Note that you can toggle back and forth between this view and the dashboard using these icons. Your session is now active and ready for guests to join. When they request to join, you'll see their names in the waiting room, and you can click to admit them. After that, they move to the participant list. If you need to add a guest at the last minute, you can use this button to invite them. When you're ready, click on Start Stream and press play in your media application. Your content is now live. Note that there is no transport control between Playback and the media source. If you want to pause your material or roll back or adjust the master volume, you should use the media application to do that. As the host, you have the ability to mute any guest by clicking next to their name in the participant list. You can also silence the stream to facilitate group conversation. Meanwhile, all participants, including you as the host, can adjust the volume for both the stream and conference call. These sliders are local controls that affect each user individually. Participants also have visual feedback on the intensity of each channel of the stream audio they're receiving, and below that is a volume meter for the conference call. Over here on the right side of the studio screen is where participants can mute and unmute their mic and turn their webcam on and off. To view the stream in full screen mode, users click here, and then on this icon to exit. If you notice a lack of sync in the stream's audio and video, you can line them up using this control. The adjustments you make as host will flow through to your guests, but they can also fine-tune on their end to adapt to local system and network conditions. Now that you're familiar with the studio view, let's turn our attention to collaborating with your guests. As with any video conferencing tool, Playback offers video, audio, and text chat collaboration. We also have a cool feature called time-coded markers. You, as the host, along with all users in desktop-only sessions, can use this field here to drop comments into the live stream. When you click in the field, Playback captures the note, the participant's name, and the time code. At the end of your session, you can click here to view all comments and export them to a DAW, NLE, or other editing software. By default, Remoto emails you a CSV file when the session is complete. If you prefer MIDI format, you need to export them before the session ends by clicking here. At any point during the session, you can pause the stream by clicking here. This action doesn't end your meeting. The group continues to be connected via video conference. You can resume the stream at any time. When it's time to wrap up the session, you first click here or here to return to the dashboard, and then click the Stop button. And that's it! We hope you have a great experience. Be sure to check out our website for additional videos, our knowledge base, and more information on playback session purchasing options. Thanks, and have an amazing day.